Part 1 of Celebrating Special Needs.
I'm an excellent driver. Yes, you are.
Man. I almost got choked up watching that. And every time I watch that movie for our listening audience, that is Rain Man, when Dustin Hoffman and uh,
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise, yeah, played Rain Man. Excuse me. And I watched the movie twice last week, and that last part right there, man, it just put a little
Yeah.
lump in my throat how they bonded at the end.
Yeah. That got me too, man. I was actually sniffling after when I finished watching it because it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. So, this part of the research that we were doing for these shows and looking at it again and seeing that he was a high functioning guy, even though he wasn't as verbal. And the things that
Right.
he was doing in that show, like the counting cards, if you guys haven't seen it in a long time, I would suggest you go watch it. And
They
how they
got
made
kicked
all
out of
that
the
money.
casino.
Yeah, and then they got by with that. But his brother had his ultimate plan, and I don't want to blow it for people, but he was trying to get money. He was trying to get money. He really didn't care about his brother at the time. He cared about
No.
his business.
Right.
So when it got to that part that we just showed right there at the very beginning of him, really embracing his brother, and his brother accepted him by putting his head on top of him. Because if you remember in this show, this movie, when they were in the hotel room
Oh yeah.
in that suite, and he said he got a date with this woman, I got a date, and all this and that. And it turned out that he was trying to learn how to dance.
Right.
And then he taught him, and he got his moves on, he was doing his thing. And then when he was happy, hey, way to go, Raymond, way to go, Raymond. And he tried to hug him, and then he went into one of his, outbreaks.
Yeah, he exploded.
Yeah.
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 But
So that's why that particular scene got me, because then his brother actually, they connected.
well, I saw the transition and how the longer he was around his brother, it no longer became about the money.
Right.
At first it
Right.
started off as the money, but the more time he spent around his brother, it
Yeah,
became more about the brother. Didn't even hear about the money anymore. So
exactly. It was about their relationship.
it's
And
about the
that was their
relationship.
deal. And that was
Yeah.
just over a few days that they were together. So that's one of that one and Forrest Gump, man. Those are some of my great movies. And it's based around what our topic is on autism, and how high functioning people and these people in general, man, they're just incredible people, like I said before, in these other topics, man. But we're gonna go ahead and let's get this started. Let's get this started.
All right. Well, our today's topic is autism spectrum disorder. Celebrating special needs. It's a blessing, not a burden. Episode 3. And we're going to talk more about it with our guests coming right up after this.
They're good men. When I distribute items, they need to be addressed. Excuse me, sir. Quiet, you brain. Wrong method, Father.
Yeah.
Yeah, quiet, Frank. Grown men are talking. I get a big kick out of that.
Yeah,
Good morning,
man.
good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Men's Lounge LA. I'm your host, Frederick Douglass Southern, aka Sir Frederick, and
I'm your co-host and partner in these conversations, Coach Chris. Welcome to the Men's Lounge LA.
here at the Men's Lounge, our mission is simple. We empower men. We empower good men to become greater men. We empower men to embrace their masculinity and their humanity. And yes, we celebrate the women because without our women, we wouldn't be properly balanced.
I agree. to the women. I was raised by a single mom, so I had nothing but respect for women. And we're here to stimulate the women at the same time in the lounge, right here at the LA Men's Lounge. How you feeling today, my brother?
You know, I'm excited about this broadcast. I'm excited about the subject matter, autism, and this is our third episode. Um, you know, when we first started this, I didn't know what we were undertaking, and this just turned into something. Didn't realize how huge it is,
Yeah,
and actually fell in love with this topic, and
yeah.
actually fell in love with um, autistic children, how special they are. I've fallen in love with the parents, uh, how patient they are, and how passionate they are. So, wow. What about you?
I agree with you 100%, man. You know, the one thing that we take pride in our podcast and our platform is the research that we do to make sure we bring the proper content and good quality content to our viewers.
Yeah.
And during this entire process, this is our third episode, like he mentioned, and I've been enlightened on so much about on the spectrum. I knew about autism, but I learned more about on the spectrum. You know, the high functioning people, Asperger, and everything that's involved in this. And it's much more. I mean, it's much more than we can even cover, even in this
Yes.
third
Yes.
episode. And it's just been amazing, man. Like I say, it's extraordinary people taking care of extraordinary people when it comes down to the big picture for
Right.
me. And like you said, man, this has just been one huge enlightening situation. I mean, completely, like you say, it didn't catch me off guard because I always like to keep an open mind when it comes to things, especially when it comes to new things in my life. And I'm all about learning, being educated. And man, this has educated me a lot, a lot.
Yeah, it has. So let's do this. We have a lot of material to cover today. And, you know, according to the American Medical Association, AMA, autism can be influenced by a mix of factors, environmental, biological, and genetics. However, some parents believe that early childhood vaccinations play a role. And we're going to get into that shortly. And that belief has sparked years of a heated debate because, according to the AMA, there's no scientific connection linking vaccines to autism. And right there is where the tension is, that disagreement. And, you know, here's where the real stories unfold.
And that's true. That's true. And that's why today's episode matters, you know, for us to bring on a gentleman up to this show who's actually going to be introduced here shortly. And I'm looking forward to introducing him because he has a great resume. And being a coach, I love being able to talk to someone of his stature, you know, 'cause
Right.
this guy comes in with a lot of great resume, things that I just admire, you know, and we'll get to him shortly. But when it's all said and done, these episodes really matter. So far as I'm concerned, guys, look at episode 1, check out episode 2, and while we on episode 3, just kick back, grab your cigar, grab your cocktail, and just enjoy what's going on right now because it's going to be informational. You're going to learn a lot today, just like we've been learning a lot.
So let's set the stage with some foundational slides to educate
For sure.
our listening audience.
Yeah, we've gone through these before in the other shows, but it's always relevant to just revisit these because this is the origins. Let's kind of go into the origins on when this kind of came to the forefront.
Right. Autism was first described as a distinct condition in 1943 by psychiatrist Leo Kanner. Kanner coined the term infantile autism to describe children who exhibited characteristic behaviors such as social withdrawal, isolation, and difficulty with communication and social interactions, repetitive ritualistic behaviors, and delayed language development. The first person to be formally diagnosed with autism was Donald Triplett in 1943. And in 1980, autism was officially recognized as a separate diagnostic category in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders.
You know, just like I said before, 1943 is kind of like when it came to the forefront, but we all agree that this has probably been happening since the beginning of time.
Yes.
But
Yes.
since they, came up with a name on this as autism, 1943, and we're in 2025, and a lot of these behaviors have not changed. That's the thing that kind of concerns me for parents and educators who's going through this, because with the technology that we have today, I'm kind of stunned that nothing's really changed. Like say walking on their tippy toes, I know there's been cases where some breakthroughs happen, but you have to start very young with the training when it comes to things of this sort. But a lot of these behaviors they're not changing. They haven't changed. And I'm a little disturbed over that from the research we've been doing. I could be wrong in some cases. I'm not saying to generalize. I'm just saying I've seen some of the things that hasn't changed, and maybe our guest can kind of tap in on some of that.
He'll enlighten us.
I'm sure.
Several programs in Los Angeles offer support and resources for autistic individuals and their families in 2025. These include specialized schools, therapy centers, community organizations focused on education, social development, and career training. For example, Exceptional Minds provides training in the digital arts, while J. Nolan Community Services offer comprehensive support services. And you can reach out to them at the UCLA Center for Autism Research and Treatment. It's jaynolan.org. That's JAYNOLAN.org. Once again, that's JAYNOLAN.org, jaynolan.org. And UCLA Treatment for Autism Research and Treatment is a leading center for research and clinical services.
Yeah, and when I did the research, or we've been doing research on these things, these are resources. And when I saw Exceptional Minds, I thought that was pretty extraordinary. That could be very helpful to a lot of you parents out there and also teachers out there to check them out. But anywhere in the country, I'm sure you'll be able to find some resources for yourself. We're talking about Los Angeles because that's the things that we pulled up for our current guests and viewers, but this is going to be seen all over the country, so just reach out to any kind of resources that you guys have in your city. I'm sure you'll be able to find some things that'll help you during this process you're going through, because even here in Los Angeles, we have the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services, and this is a child protection hotline, and the phone number there is 1-800-540-4000. And this is respite care. And we here at the Men's Lounge really believe in self-care. And respite care is something that I believe that everyone should be involved in that's going through this process, because this gives you an opportunity to find help for yourself, for your children, and other avenues. In our first episode, Shannon was talking about how you can hire your own family members to help you with your child. And, I think that's huge, because a lot of people don't want strangers around their children, especially when they have special needs. And I get that, respite care, you have to go through a process. You got to get live scans and background checks, things of that sort, to make sure that you're the proper person coming into people's lives. I did that as a coach. I had to take a live scan and background check. Being a coach, I couldn't step on the field without going through that process, because you have to make sure you're not around children if you got some sort of record, and I respect that. And it's the same thing with this process, but it's different. And I think you guys should, consider looking into this if you haven't gone through this in our first 2 episodes. Respite care, it's huge. It's huge. What's your thoughts on that, big bro?
Everybody needs a break. I was a caregiver. You were a caregiver, and caregiver burnout is real. Yeah.
I was a caregiver for my mom until she passed in 2022. You were caregiver for your aunt, so we have that in common, and we will be talking about other episodes down the road when it comes down to men's health, mental health and stuff like that. So that's going to be on the Men's Lounge LA. But for this particular topic, respite care for you guys who are going through the situation with these people that you're helping in your life. And then in addition to that, the Men's Lounge LA, we're going to be involved in this one. This is the Empower Walk and 5K run. And I just want to make sure we keep this clear. I'm not going to be doing any running that day. I'm going to be doing the walking. So yeah, I'm a former coach. I did a lot of running back in the day, but you know what? My back issues, my torn Achilles, and my knee surgery, all that stuff is not allowing me to run. So I will be doing some walking. It's going to be November 23rd, 2025 here in Los Angeles. It's going to be on the UCLA campus. And if you go to UCLA campus and check this out, I'm sure they'll probably have it on their website. So I've been putting this up quite a bit. And we're going to have a link below because the Men's Lounge LA will be representing there. And
Right.
I'm going to be a part of this process. We will be. In addition to that, I do have a link for you guys to click on and then donate on behalf of Coach Chris. So if you do that, I would love for you guys to do that. That'd be great. That'd be great. What's your thoughts on that, big bro?
When I show up, I think I'll be on the bicycle because I don't do a lot of walking with my flat feet. So I'll be on the bicycle following you guys, probably carrying some water in a backpack. And so I'll do my part.
Don't forget your banana since you'll be doing so much hard work on that bike. You boy.
Yeah.
What can you say, man? I tell you what, let's move on into some notable people that we talked about in the previous episode that's
Yeah.
high functioning, that has this invisible disability that we call autism.
Yeah. Elon Musk, he's relevant right now. The CEO of Tesla and SpaceX is one of the most well-known figures in modern technology. And what many people don't know or didn't know is that he has been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. Despite the challenges that come with his condition, Musk has managed to become one of the wealthiest people in the world and continues to push boundaries in space exploration and sustainable energy.
Yeah, that's something right there. Like we talked about Forrest Gump in our first episode, and he was a multimillionaire too. If you think about it, having bubblegum shrimp.
Bubble shrimp. Yeah,
Bubblegum
bubble
shrimp.
gum.
So he was a high functioning guy. And if you look at this guy right here, man, he's like one of the top 10 or top 2 richest men in the world that has this invisible disability. So for you parents out there that have a child, there's hope. There's hope out there when it comes down to
Yes.
this particular disability. Even, we have an athlete on our show today, so we wanted to make sure we address athletes, and this one surprised me, but hey, we're gonna talk about it.
Lionel Messi. I don't know who he is. I never heard of him, but
Oh
Lionel
man,
Messi, widely regarded as one of the greatest soccer players of all time. He's also been open about his diagnosis with Asperger's syndrome. The Argentine superstar has overcome his difficulties with social interactions and communication to lead his team to numerous championships with numerous individual accolades.
this guy is big time, man. He's big time.
Never
Like I
heard
say,
of him.
Yeah. You, like I say, you're not into sports, but that's fine. We balance out this men's lounge by me being a sports guy. That's fine. You're the commentator. I'm the color analyst. And when I say color, I say black. I'm the color analyst.
Who we got
So
next?
I can hook you up on that. So I'll tell you about him after the fact, but we're gonna move forward because we got quite a bit on this show that we're gonna get. This might be a longer show than normal that we give you guys, but it's gonna be worthy. But let's go to the next slide.
Sheldon Cooper. Now I've seen him on TV, a fictional character from the TV show The Big Bang Theory. He's often cited as an example of someone with autism due to his difficulty with social cues and obsessive tendencies. While Sheldon may not be a real person, his portrayal on screen has helped raise awareness about autism spectrum disorder. Yes, I've seen him. Yeah.
I have too. And I was asking you earlier before the show started if you watched that and if you knew that he maybe was an artistic character on that show as well. So if you guys in the listening audience know about that, put it in the comments. Let us know if you know that he was playing an artistic, high functioning person on that show, because I'm not 100% familiar with that. But if you know, just put your comments in on that. That would be great to help us balance this out. But we came across this as well, and I figured it would be pretty good to bring up. But in the meantime, we're gonna move forward. That's a few things that we wanted to address before we bring up our guests. You know, we have a really special guest here today for you guys, man. I really know that, you know, when we talked to him earlier, man, it's like, to me, it was like talking to a teammate. You know,
Right.
I'm a lot older than this guy, but it's like talking to a teammate, man. When you talk trash and when you talk to each other, it's nothing but love and respect. And nobody's taking anything personal. You can see the smirk on his face when he's talking to us, you know, because I already know what that smirk is. It's like, hey, I'm serious, but don't take me serious, that kind of stuff. But this man, he's a serious man because he has a resume, man, that's built for the Men's Lounge LA, as far as I'm concerned. You know, he actually played college football, and he played for this team here, which is actually not my team because I'm a USC fan, but I'll give him I'll give him some love. He's a national championship. He played 1991 with the Washington Husky football team, you know, and he's a national champion, you know, so he has a great resume jumping off right now when it comes down to that. And he actually started his pro football career with the Seattle Seahawks as well, you know. So when he came in from the league, college league, played with the Seattle Seahawks, you know, and you can see his name there, Tyrone Rogers. He was a defensive end. He played with the Seattle Seahawks. So this is not the first person that I was involved with that played college football and with the pros. I was actually talking to him earlier about Terrence Whitehead, who I coached when he was a kid, and he went to University of Oregon, and then he ended up playing with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was a running back for them, you know, and he was a great player as far as I'm concerned as well too. So he played also a couple of years with the Carolina Panthers, and then he went on to some outside of the country, the BC Lions, you know, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and then he played with Grand Rapids, and then he did some other things. So he has a really good resume, and this guy here has done some amazing things also in another Ram that we're going to cover a little bit later. But he also has some good things going here as well. That's Mr. Rogers right there. And that's not Mr. Rogers with a sweater. That's Mr. Rogers with a blazer, a black blazer. That's who that is, man. And we're going to bring him to the stage real quick. This is Tyrone Rogers. And this is his security company as well, Security Link. So welcome to the Men's Lounge LA, Mr. Rogers. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Wow. You know what? I'm looking around for that introduction. Like, where's that guy at? It's like
there he is, right there on the screen, man. Looking all handsome and everything. But he looks like he'll kick your ass in the process too. Looks like he'll tackle you or he kick your ass.
Just to let our listening audience know, Tyrone is a proud father of an adult son on the spectrum, and he's here to share his journey, the real impact autism has on families, the strategies he uses to support not only his son, but also his son's team and the community. Now, there's a lot to unpack. It's going to be real. It's going to be honest. And we're just going to jump right into it.
Yeah, this, like I say, man, when we first met Tyrone, like I say, it was like talking to one of my brothers, man. You know, I don't know what it is about, you know, former coaches, athletes, whatever, man. There's always like some sort of, you know, connection, some kind of bond. In some cases, some people don't like each other because of rivalries or whatever, man. But you know what? It's a game. But when you love that game and you love doing what you do and you have that same passion, there's a brotherhood there, man. And that's what it feels like talking to this brother, man. So this guy is real, man. This is a real brother right here. And him having a son that's on the spectrum at the age that we wanted to talk about, being an adult, this is something we're going to talk about in this episode 3, because we're covering a lot the parents' journey with the younger children, you know. So
let's just set this up to our listening audience. In our meet and greet, we covered a lot with Tyrone, from Snoop Special Stars football and cheerleading program to your Christmas tree lot and even conservativeship battle that you have faced. Now I know the audience is going to be eager to hear all about that. So we've got a lot to cover. So let's just jump right on in.
Dive right on in, man. Are you pretty open to cover anything, or you good for everything? Okay,
I'm
good.
Yeah.
Happy to have you aboard, man. How you feeling today, by the way, brother?
I feel good, man. I feel good. Just got back from a big project. It's sunny in California, like we love it. So
Yeah,
no
yeah,
fires.
beautiful.
Yes.
Tell us a little. Tell our listening audience a little bit about your son and what brought you here today, and we'll get to the Christmas tree farm and the conservative
dogs.
guardianship. Yeah. So let's talk about your son.
Security, everything, man.
Yeah, let's talk about your son.
Well, I have an amazing son. Well, I have first back up. I have 4 kids. My son, he's the youngest boy, and my youngest.
How old is he again?
He's now is 21. Yeah. So sorry, 24. I'm saying my daughter. Sorry, I played football for a long time, so I got
Got kind of banged up.
Yeah. So I usually say 1, 2, 3, come here, whatever. So
Right. Whichever age. I got you. Yeah. So he's 24, your son.
Yes. So he's amazing. We didn't really find out that he was on the spectrum until he was about. He started showing signs 2.5 after he had the shots, and he was doing everything normal up to the point to 2 when he had the shots, and then 2.5 things really drastically changed.
So
Wow.
you believe that like the AMA says, no, there's no link to support this, evidence to support this, but a lot of parents say that this disability started developing after the shots, and you're one of those parents.
Yeah, I won't say the disability started, but the percentage went from, I think it was 1 out of 20 kids to 1 out of 10 kids. With this, when the shots came about, and it raised at least 50% within them years when they had the shots combined, and then they changed it, and some parties admit that the shots had something to do with it, and other parties are saying no. So,
it's interesting. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's interesting you brought that up to that manner. I want to play something really quick to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, and then kind of feed off what
we'll go from there. Yeah.
And it's so important to me to see the doctor 4 times or 5 times for a vaccine. Don't let them pump your baby up with the largest pile of stuff you've ever seen in your life going into the delicate little body of a baby. Even if it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you just break it up into, I would say 5, but let's say 4 visits to the doctor instead of 1. And certain things I think you should do. We've already taken out and are in the process of taking out mercury and aluminum now. You know what mercury is. You know what aluminum is. Who the hell wants that pumped into a body? And there were rumors about both of them for a long time. But we're having them taken out. We're having them taken out of the vaccines.
Normally, I don't listen to too much that Pumpkin has to say, but you know what? It's kind of timely for our topic, and we actually did that show long before he and Kennedy started talking about this stuff. What's your take on what he just said? Because you kind of alluded to that a little bit on, doing them not all at the same time, and he just mentioned that I think recently. What's your thoughts?
He's just repeating something that was already came out. That's all he's doing. He's reading something that already came out, and that certain parties that didn't want the lawsuits was fighting against it. I really don't care about the lawsuit. We just need to know about our son, and we wanted to know the best thing to help him. So
Right.
a lot of people, they want some type of money back or something, or help here and there. The whatever happened and whoever did it, that damage is done. So, we're just here to make our son the best life that he can be and push him to his limits, and for us to enjoy and him enjoy everything around him. And, some people have a different view of it. Yeah, I mean, if I knew exactly who created it, yeah, I would love to be locked in the closet with him. But but
My
you
man.
we don't. We will never know. So
Right. Yeah.
How did you and his mother handle this realization?
really, his grandmother seen the some of the tendencies first.
Mm.
And she noticed some things that wasn't right. And I was still playing ball at the time, so I was in and out of town. And it was a function of denial in some moment, and then grandmother brought it my attention to something you don't want to admit. Something's wrong with your child.
Right.
So it was a transition there we had to go through. Then after fighting that and going to get everything diagnosed and everything else, and the journey for that was ridiculous. It's in the early 2000s, it was just really ridiculous. Now they have an easier journey for a lot of the families if they have to go through something like this. It's an easier journey. They have things worked out, and since it's a normal, unfortunately, it's a normal occurrence of some of these kids. They know what to look for and how to test and everything else. We went to hearing and eyes and everything else before anything, mental.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me when you just said that. When we met you and was kind of discussing this initially, you said you had to kind of force the doctors to do certain things. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, or is that what you were just saying now?
Well, no, that's a little different. So we had to force them to look further,
Deeper.
Deeper, not other than just a hearing loss or a hearing problem. We had to look deeper, look and see what is wrong. Is something else? And like you said before, as coming from an athletic sport background, competitive background, I need to know what's wrong so we can come up with a plan to help it.
Right.
Then as a younger parent, I wanted to, how do I fix it? But,
Right.
it's not about fixing. It's just about making the best life and push him to his limits, not my limits, his limits.
How did you starting off? How did you and your who handled it better, you or the mother?
I would say initially, I did, and the grandmother.
Hmm.
Because my son, mom's, it was her only child, and so it was really devastating for
It's a tough deal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're most dads, of course, in our own room and somewhere in the closet or in the car, we have our own little moments, but the mothers usually take it out in front of everybody as far as the emotions. And we understand that. Like, as I was raised by a single mom, I get it. So when it comes down to stuff like that, it's usually internal for men. And that's why we have the Men's Lounge LA, so we can get these things to the forefront so men can know they have a place to come and talk about it. So I'm happy that you're transparent about this and glad that you're joining us to discuss this, because you have an adult son. We talked about children at this point. We're going to go over some other things with the children a little bit later. But as an adult son, how far or have you seen progress since him being younger and where he's at now as an adult? What's your thoughts on where he's been? Or is he still the same?
Well, you look at his, I guess his what is his goals and not realistic goals. So you change everything around, of what is what his capacity and what his limits are. You don't come off and put, how some people, they want to say, all right, my kid's going to be a doctor, or my kid's going to be a football player, or something, anything. it's, you know, and you push off your dreams onto your own kids. It's more about pushing off what his limits are, finding his limits and helping him reach his limits.
How did you?
What I was going to say probably the same thing he's saying, but what steps did you take to find out what limits that
Right,
he have
right,
and,
right.
and you know, and how to address it? Because Shannon, in our first episode, did make some great observations. She says she does hers through play. Was that the same steps, or did you do something different?
You know, I'm not the best parent, but with my other kids, I push them till they fail. And then when they fail, we just worked it out. So, and, you know, we did things with my son. We did everything the same thing the other kids did. You know, we learned how to ride a bike. It was a little harder. Then we just, you know, there was some occasion where people looked at him funny being a big kid on a mountain bike with training wheels that I custom made.
Mm.
Mm.
You know,
Well, you did tell us that he's a gentle giant. Want to,
yes.
you know, tell our listening audience your son size, because he's pretty sizable guy from what you said.
You know, he's 6'4.5", about 320 maybe. He's a little overweight, but he's a big kid. But if you look him in his face, you can tell that he's a kid. You know, being 24, you still look him in the face and he smiles and everything else, and you know, he's a kid. So he didn't really learn how to ride a bike till he was probably about 12. You know, and he loves riding bikes.
Mm.
What does a good day look like for you and Jay, you and your son?
Jai.
Jai.
J-A-I. You know what? His days are amazing because no matter if he's having a bad day, within 15 minutes he's back smiling.
Wow.
That's great.
You know, so if
That's
he's going
great.
through something and he can't communicate or he can't express what he's feeling, or something that with part of the handicap, if he wants something and you know, and he can't get it now, he still can't really understand. So he's going to keep asking for it.
Got you.
So as a parent, you guys know you got to just keep answering.
Right.
Give him the exact same answer, and he'd get it for a minute, and then he's gonna come back and ask you again.
How well does he handle transitions or changes in routine?
That's hard. You have to prep him. You know, whatever you're doing, you got to let him know what we're doing. You give him the plan, and
I like that you give him the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
You gotta prep him. You kind of prep him for it.
Yes. So you got to prep him. Hey, we're going to the beach. We're going bike ride. And his response like no, because he knows his exercise. So you know, we sneak in wherever I can.
His exercise.
Right. So you know, you know. So if he don't feel like doing it, his nope. It's you know, it's funny. So I'm like, no, we're gonna do it. Nope. You know.
And that brings me to my next question is, you know, how well does he take direction from you? You know.
For me, you know, once I say no, this is what you're gonna do. You know, but you know, it's still the mama daddy thing, and the mother has a way to get him to do things, and I have a way to get him to do things.
So he has that balance. He has that balance in his life.
There's a balance. You know, he knows how he can get over on one parent, other parent. I mean, he's very intelligent. It's just he can't. It's the communication part.
Right.
Because you did say low verbal, right? Not non-verbal,
Yes.
but low verbal. Okay.
And you know, he has you know, dealing with certain emotions. You know, when he really wants something or whatever, certain emotions he have problems expressing it.
Who does he take direction from better, you or the mother?
That, you know what, it depends on the situation. And like I said, just like every family, they both, you know, communicate and get things out of the kid differently.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm curious about something. If the mother is having some resistance, if she's experiencing some resistance, does she ever call you to come over and help with the discipline or help out, give direction or anything?
No, we're not there yet. Her and I, but no, she has a way to get to him. So she's a good mother. She has a way to get to him and to convince him to do certain things, whichever way. Her way is different than mine, but she has a way
Got you.
to get to him. As most fathers, we're more firmer. When it's wait a minute, it's no. So, stop asking me. Hold on, you asked me 4 times.
So you're the heavy.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah, I was too, and still is to this day, even though my son is 32 and 28. So, you're going to have to be, when it comes down to being a dad. You're a dad too, big bro. You know what it's like. But
Yeah.
mothers, do get a chance to be a little bit softer. But I think all children need that balance. But
Right.
when it comes down to your background being in football, and we know that's an aggressive sport, did that help you mold your son in a different way, or did you just not involve your background in football into his life and you just did a different kind of parenting?
Well, you know what? My 2 older boys, it did, and they were like, "Ooh, damn." But no, what I had to do, he had to bring out more of my understanding and sensitivity and his situation, take me out of the situation, because my older boys, it was just like, get it done or get it done. No matter, they hate that clause, but now they're adults, they use that clause all the time. Is basically you can figure out a way to get it done, you're emotionally or physically or any task there's a way to get it done no matter what. But that's not, we had to change it when it comes to Jai.
Mm-hmm.
It had to come with a more of, emotional and psychological approach.
I understand you have 3 other children. You have a total of 3 boys, 1 girl,
Yeah.
and Jaw is the youngest boy.
Jai. Yep.
Jai is the youngest boy. I'm gonna get his name right.
It's okay.
What has Jai taught you about yourself as a father and as a man? What has he taught you? Yeah, what has he taught you?
That, life is really not that hard in our eyes, because, what most of your audience are so-called on the normal spectrum. And we may go to work and have a co-worker or a boss that's ragging us, and you got bills, you got this and that, and some people go as far as jumping off a bridge and this and that. And then we look at them, kids on the spectrum, and we're like, oh, woe is them. But they smile.
They're always happy.
They're happy. They're, with them. Yeah. What kind of problem can you have within 5 minutes you're back smiling?
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love hearing that.
I wish I knew how to recover like that.
Yeah.
Same
here.
They're smiling and joking, and you can say something to them, and then they joke, and then they back asking you something that they love, or go play a game or something. And
that sounds like something he taught you then. So it looked like you take joy in seeing him do that, I'm sure.
Right. So that's the thing where I got from him. And, my problems is not as bad as, no matter how you look at it, it's not as bad. So
that's amazing.
That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I
love it.
And I'm supposed to be here guiding him. So, but he's a gift.
Yeah. I have a question regarding him being an adult now, because since we were talking so much about children in our previous episode, being under the age of 21 or even 18, and we're going to the 18 thing here shortly, about conservatorship that I really want to get your take on. What hopes do you have for him, or what direction are you leading him into since he's at an adult when it comes down to him being independent financially or independent as far as living? What's going on with you and him in that area? What are you doing?
Well, my son is always going to have assistance. He can make some food, make his food for the minor things. He can make his food or something to eat, go to the bathroom, take a shower, but he needs direction. So
He can cook.
I wouldn't say really cook, but he can microwave or go make a sandwich.
Wow.
He can go and you can't hide any snacks from him. He's gonna find it.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I
my
mean?
guy.
So you got some donuts or pie or something around, he gonna find it no matter where you put it. So
You sniff it out, huh?
he gonna sniff it out. He's like, okay, where would daddy put this at? So
Under lock and key, brother. Under lock and key.
lock. Hey, he gonna find the key. He's like, hey, why is this locked?
I love him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, he will. He can do that. He can make it something, but he's going to always need someone in his life directing him, taking care of him. So he needs assistance still. He can't drive. He won't be able to order food or anything like that. So his life is basically making sure. I got to make sure that there's aftercare after I pass away, his mother passed away, and we got to have something set up. And we're trying to get on the same page with that now. I already have an idea what I want going, a goal of mine of trying to create, but and basically it's a community, like a housing program or whatever, maybe like 8 to 15, no more than 20 apartments where they're living in, and there's a community where they got to get up, they got to work, they got to clean and everything else, maybe have a cafeteria, and everyone's staying there. And we have someone, specialist there helping them. But it's their own little apartment, and we know some are going to need more help than others, and their own little community. And
Are you say you're looking to start this, or is this something that's already out there?
No, well, you know what? I've went out to Kurt Warner's place in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
He created this community in Arizona about 15 years ago.
The kind of community you're describing right now, he created something like that? Oh,
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
great.
I'm glad you're mentioning that, because that brings me to my next question. What tools, resources, or therapies would you recommend to other parents walking the same journey?
There's something called, depending on where they're at, but there's a regional center. There's the help group. Here in Los Angeles, I don't know what do they call, what do they have in different states and different cities. But in California, there's some called the Regional Center.
Yeah.
And you can go there, and they have all kind of different groups and help that you can go to. Once your kid is diagnosed and put on the spectrum here or there's a lot of help out there. Even though the United States is not admitting that they cause this epidemic, but they put a lot of money out there for it.
Right.
You can get help. And then like the autism walk that he was talking about earlier, what it used to be at the Rose Bowl. I guess they're having the construction, so it's at UCLA. You go to places like that, it's going to be all kind of vendors there. Hundreds of vendors that have different programs to help. They help guide you in the area where you need to go.
I'm glad you brought that up, because you're going to be at the Donut Shack. Am I still going to see you there?
Hey, I'm not even going to be like he said he's going to ride the bike. My stomach is in the shape where I'm not going to run. So I'm not even going to give the part, hey, I'm going to walk. No, I go there to support. And I may walk to a certain point, and then post up at the little area where they have these donuts. That,
There you go.
That's that are great. I forgot the name of them. I love to plug them in, but I'll be there.
Okay, cool. We're looking forward to seeing you, man. And if I don't hold too many guys' hands, but if I got to hold your hand just to get to that first point, you're gonna get to it and then come back. We'll be doing the same thing.
Now, you don't got to hold my hand because I'm gonna be like my son. When he get tired, he's like, nope, and he just sit down. So
Nope. I have to keep that in mind. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna do the best.
You know, I'm really digging your enthusiasm, your passion for this and for special needs children, which leads me into my next segment. Let's talk about your Christmas tree lot. And I'm pretty sure that there's some people out there that have children with special needs, high functioning, the passion that you took on this project. Tell our listening audience about your Christmas tree lot.
All right. I've been owning Christmas tree lots since 1995. I really started it to help family members. That were just
Your family members?
family. I would say, yeah, my family. And when I say family, I have a lot of families in that blood.
Right.
So,
We all do.
I'm still family.
As a community, that's what we do.
Yes. So I was still playing ball back then. And a lot of my family members getting out of prison. And they was having a hard time getting a job. And they needed a job because the probation was going to lock them back up. They didn't have some type of job, which was, how you gonna get a job? You got, you got this strike against you.
You got a record. Yeah.
So and they had to get a job within 30 days. So I started a tree lot and gave all of them jobs, and the parole officer came out, checked them and everything else, and got them by the first, path of getting a job or whatever. So I started selling Christmas trees to help. And then I made some money. I said, oh, damn.
My man, that's right.
You know what I mean? So then I just kept it going, and would hire whoever. If they knew somebody was coming out, I was hiring. So it got to the point where I was really making a lot of money. And then when you find out about my son, he was always there, running around, pushing things over, whatever. But then he started wanting to help. Pick up the tree. When he got big enough to pick the tree up, he did. He'd seen his other brothers doing stuff, so he wanted to do it. And then I have a friend that has these group homes for special need adults.
Right.
That got in trouble in some kind of way or whatever, and then they're in a program where if they follow her program and she helps them get out of the legal trouble, they get out and be, okay. So we talked about it one year, and she started bringing them out to work. She was like, I try to get them jobs, but nobody want to hire them. And so ever since then, we started it. And I have nothing but special need adults working at my lot.
That's all you hire?
For the most part, yeah.
Wow.
And how many guys are it's going to be? I'm saying guys, but if it's not only guys, you can.
She just happened to have all just men group homes. So,
because that's her group home. Okay.
That's a group home. So that's just not like I wouldn't hire a woman, but we have a relationship, so I get them from her. So
okay, and it's about what?
I bring in about it's about 10 to 15.
And you oversee this. Your son helped you, and you have additional help from.
So they come on in, and she'll bring some of the workers, her workers, and they'll be there. Some that may need extra guidance or whatever. They're therapists. They help them out, and they're there working the whole day. Switch the shifts, and they're there.
When does your season start?
Really, tree season already started. I already ordered my trees, got my license and everything else, and going through all my inventory, cleaning things up. Matter of fact, some of the boys are going to come out and pull everything out of my warehouse to start cleaning everything, I think next week. So we already kind of started getting the schedule together, and we got some new clients that's going to be stays with her that wants to work. And they work the whole season. Great. They learn how to tie the trees up. They get tips, how to put the stands on the trees. They normally not selling the trees, but they watch us. And then the little bonus I have for them, I usually shut my lot down around maybe 21st, 22nd.
Yes.
And I turn it over to everybody who worked becomes their lot. So even though it's a lot of money, but yeah.
So for you at around the 21st, you turn the lot over to them and you take your hands off and they just run the lot.
They basically, I'm still there, but
I get that.
Everything that they've learned from me and the prices and everything else, they start selling the trees, and then they would still our same program where the person who buy the tree come to the door, and when we take the money, but all the money goes to them. They form their little company. I teach them how to form the company. Who's going to be their lead?
Wow.
They get together, and who's ever the lead, and they think can be their spokesperson or whatever. And then at the end of the night, I'd say, all right, let's tally up. Let's see what you guys made. And then they sit and divide it up every night.
So every dollar that's made from the 20th on, it goes straight to them.
Straight to them, yeah. No,
Wow.
it's not the 20th. I shut down. I got to look at the date. I think it's the 22nd, 21st, 22nd. But yeah.
And you sell all the way up to Christmas Day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I sell all the way up till they want to be there. They're there up to Christmas. Yes.
Whenever they leave.
I said, when you guys want to shut down, we'll shut the doors. So whatever trees are left, they sell them. They change the prices, everything.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love the fact that you're giving them ownership and you teach them how to run a business in the same process. And with that said, it made me think as a coach, how do they choose the leader? Is it something that they vote upon, or is it how the person carries themselves? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's just like any team. It's almost like who you vote to be a captain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I was going. That's exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going that direction.
So and I let them do it. I say, all right, who's going to be your lead? And if they'll say, oh, this person, that person, Alex, John, whatever. But I let them pick it. I don't go in and say this person should be your spokesperson or whatever.
Yeah.
And
so it's not by performance that you see as the owner of the lot. It's by them as a group. Hey, you guys choose, and then do they ever come to a conclusion, or is it like a tiebreaker? I mean, do you have to break the tie?
No, they usually come.
They work it out.
They work it out. One come up always. All right, I'm gonna be the spokesperson. Okay, and it's
okay. So what does that spokesperson do? They organize things, or they bring in the customer when the customers come in. They show them. What does the spokesperson do? Just out of curiosity.
The spokesperson is the one that when a person come into the tree lot and they need help, that person will go up and give them help, and will answer all the questions about, okay, do we want a Douglas fir, Grand fir, Noble, and that person will be the salesperson.
Do you do the flocking there as well? They go ahead and flock them?
We flock them too.
Okay, so they can ask if you want it flocked, and it's additional charge for all this and that. So they have the total RAM of what's happening during that time that they're there until they get to that point where they
learn from Thanksgiving all the way up to that point of how to do things. They learn the names of the trees, the prices, if we change the prices, we'll rechange them, and they write it down and they go from there.
To be continued, part 2 coming Friday.